How's it going, everyone? My name's Abaddon, and here I'm making a new game to show you what to do in your first hour of No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky doesn't have really a good tutorial, to be perfectly honest. It puts you on your own on a distant planet, and it's sort of hard to grasp what to do. So I'm going to be here showing you and helping you through it. Survival is the first topic we'll be talking about. Right here you see at the bottom left that my hazard protection is very low. We're on a fiery planet, it's very hot, and we're suffering. Right there it says hazardous heat levels detected. So what do we need? It says right here we need sodium to refill our hazard protection. Sodium are yellow plants. You'll see them all around, and all you do is go up to them, hold the X button or square button on PS4, and it goes into your inventory for you to use as you will. Right here, I drag and drop it into the hazard protection. You could also put it over the hazard protection and then charge it as I showed you before. Now we're going to talk about fixing what we can. Here's our scanner. It shows that it's broken and we need ferrite dust. Where do we get ferrite dust? So when you look around and put your cursor on something, right here it shows that that's an unidentified material, but it has ferrite dust. So we'll use our mining beam here, and I'm going to show you what happens if you just hold down the trigger. It causes it to overheat. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to feather it sort of, and not let it get to all the way overheating. And here, we repair our scanner. What you do is you press the left stick in, and it'll send out a pulse. That pulse will show you things around you. Right here it shows multiple things, the dihydrogen symbol and the oxygen symbol. And it says that there was a starship signal detected. We're on a lone planet and we've crashed. So what do? We find out how we got here and what's going on. So let's talk about dihydrogen and jetpack boosting. Right here I'm mining dihydrogen, something we'll be using to repair. Right here I'm running and I'm going down a slope, and I press the punch button, which is RB or R1, jump and boost at the same time, and it causes you to go very far at a high velocity, and it helps you get around the map faster. So quick recharging. Right here my hazard protection level is very low. You press down on the D-pad and you could quick recharge things that way if you have the materials you need. Life support. Let's talk oxygen. Oxygen are the little red plants, and right here I'm showing you in the menu life support takes oxygen capsules, and things such as that. Life support will go down gradually if you're running, if you're on a planet, what have you, so you need to keep track of it and refill it as necessary. This is another way to get oxygen. This plant, if you get close to it, will damage you. It's a hazardous plant. So what you could do is, if you destroy it with your mining beam, you get oxygen as well. Just something to keep in mind as you explore. So let's talk carbon. Carbon is used for many things, one of them being your mining beam. Right here it comes from the flora. It'll come from trees, plants, and medium-sized plants. Right here I'm showing you that it refills your mining beam. It takes carbon, condensed carbon, and phosphorus. Carbon being the easiest to find. The bigger the plant you harvest from, the more carbon you get once you finish. Those things on the right are floating crystals. They require an advanced mining beam, which comes from a blueprint that you get later on. So we're in the ship now, and what's the next step? The space race. We're trying to get to space. We have to fix the ship. Here I'm using the dihydrogen to make dihydrogen jelly, which we need to use to repair it. And we also need metal plating, which comes from ferrite dust. We need 50 ferrite dust, so we mine that, and then we craft in our inventory metal plating. Right here I'm showing you when you run out of mining beam, which I did intentionally, you could punch things and you'll still be able to finish the destruction of it and get the carbon that you need or the other material. So we need pure ferrite. How do we get that? We're going through the prompts at the bottom right and it's telling us what to do. We've got the navigation data, and now we need ferrite dust. to build a signal booster. So we build the metal plating necessary for building it, and we need to also use carbon to build carbon nanotubes. Here's a rare material that was close by called humming eggs. So you open them, and they have something called albumen pearls. Those are worth quite a hefty sum, especially at the beginning. So don't be afraid to open those eggs up. I'll be talking about the other eggs that you've probably seen online with the scary aliens that chase after you. Humming eggs are not those. So next step is the hermetic seal. We build the signal booster, and we use our navigation data, and then we scan for distress signals. Nearby is the objective. That's where we'll find the hermetic seal. So we start heading on our way. We also could pick that up and keep it in your inventory. So there's a storm happening, extreme weather. What will happen in storms, it'll cause your hazard protection to go down more quickly. You could get into caves or get into buildings like I am here, and you see it going up very rapidly. So that's how you get out of that. The other thing you could do is recharge it as you do normally with your sodium. Here's the hermetic seal. I'm going through everything step by step as it says. And we have the hermetic seal that we need, so we head on back. The analysis visor. It was a prompt at the bottom right that showed up, and I'm so used to using it. All it needs is carbon nanotubes. Destroy some plants. As you see right there, it's white around both of those. It means they're connected, and it boosts efficiency. It can happen with ship parts, it can happen with exosuit upgrades. Some upgrades, such as the exosuit ones and ship ones, don't work unless they are connected and have the outline around them. When you look around, you could see things that it points out. It doesn't point out things that you find with the scanner normally. And here I'm scanning a plant to get its data. You get credits, and if you upload them, you could get nanites. Let's talk utilities. You could toggle the tech, and it's a torch. So that helps in caves and very dark nights. So right here, I'm repairing what I can, which is the pulse engine. Next is the launch thrusters. So we need to refine ferrite. So what do we need to make a refiner? We need metal plating and oxygen. So I'm looking around, and as you can see with the analysis visor, some things don't show up. The oxygen showed up after I was out of the analysis visor. Here I'm getting the necessary materials. And we're getting ferrite. The fuel for the refiner is carbon. Easy to get. On the input side, we'll put our ferrite dust. And on the output side is pure ferrite. Right there shows the ratio, which is 1 to 1. So 105 ferrite dust, 105 pure ferrite. More than enough. We take the pure ferrite. When we look in our inventory, you see that we have 6 carbon. We pick it up. We get all of our carbon back that was in the fuel. That's very nice, but make sure when you pick it up that you have space in your inventory for that. Right here I'm repairing the launch thruster, and we'll be able to take off. So right here I'm showing that it takes Starship launch fuel for the launch thrusters, and sometimes it can be tedious to get. So if you're on planet before you get off, you may want to go and get some. It takes dihydrogen and metal plating from ferrite dust, and dihydrogen from the blue crystals on the planet. I made some before I took off, just because I would need it. I knew I would. And if you go to the utility section again, you could change the perspective to third person. It's more scenic. I like it. Being in first person view is very good for ship battles and for scanning planets that are hard to get into your crosshairs. They can be pretty pesky in third person, and first person is a good solve for that problem. Here, I'm showing that the pulse engine will take a material called tritium. Tritium you get from mining asteroids in space, which is what I'm doing here. You'll see that right here it says that it's for the pulse engines, and what it seems like it does at the beginning is it puts you intentionally far away from the space station, so you'll want to just get some while you can and not have to stop at all. So we're at our first space station. What can we do at space stations? Well, there's aliens here. We're scared. We don't know what's going on. we go to this terminal. It's where we could buy and sell things. So I'm selling those pearls that we got earlier. And what can we do with the units that we get? I'll be showing that shortly. So, character customization. Right here is the appearance modifier. You could change the race, you could change all the armor and everything. It's very nice. Upgrades. We have 24 slots. That's the default. And right here you could buy an exosuit upgrade. You could buy one at each space station. They gradually get more expensive. It's 5,000, next it'll be 10,000, then I believe 20,000 after that, and it goes up by 10,000 each time. So now we have 25 slots. Right here you could buy an upgrade for your multi-tool. You could also get them on planets from aliens. Here you could pay units that you get, which is what you'll have to do if you buy them from these things. And it could be a significant upgrade. Here it shows that it has special stats and even a special attachment. But right now I don't plan on spending my units on that. Each of these vendors sells something different, and they speak an alien language which you won't understand at first, but you gradually will. So nanites are the currency that the vendors take. You get it from uploading discovery data, and you get it from randomly picking things up in the overworld and even in space stations. Nanites are spent for upgrade modules and blueprints. Here I'm showing all the upgrade modules. They go from C to B to A to S. S being the highest ranked really boosts the efficiency of whatever the upgrade is for, but it's also the most expensive, and you could have multiple upgrades of all classes. However, if you have too many, it can overload and then none of them will work. So you have to be able to balance S class and other classes as well. Here's another galactic terminal, which sometimes has different things you could buy from it, which is very convenient. Those things that I'm touching, the encrypted navigation data, you can sometimes get navigation data from it, which I will show later on. Other ships. In space stations you run into aliens and other ships. You could buy and sell to those life forms, and you could also buy their ships. This ship is way out of my price range. It's a very nice ship actually. However, I don't have enough. So, on to the next step. We're following our objective, and we stop here. I don't go too far into the story. You keep building more things, such as the terrain manipulator and a base computer. So let's talk about learning the language. You'll see here that there's an alien artifact. What's that mean? Go up to it. It talks in a foreign language. We accept the knowledge, and it teaches us words of the Vy'keen, which are in this system. Signal boosters. So we could use signal boosters to scan for nearby structures, and use navigation data, and use drop pod data. So that could open up the world for us and show us ways and directions we could go. Alien data structures are very important, which I hit on. As you see right here for the flyers, I aim at their head so it starts scanning. They could be finicky, so if you aim at the head it helps. And then you could zoom all the way out and you'll be able to scan with ease. So these are called ancient data structures. As you can see, I'm getting navigation data, and soon I'll be getting something called drop pod coordinate data. I'll be hitting on what that does shortly and how you could use it. So I have navigation data and drop pod coordinate data in excess. When you use navigation data, you can scan for multiple things, one of them being distress signals. It could get you to destroyed ships that you could repair, which could be an upgrade, or it could get you to other facilities like abandoned buildings. Again, when I take off, I have 0 launch thruster fuel. I refuel it just like I knew I would have to. And it's just showing that every time I take off, it takes some away. Here's a save spot. Those flags, they chart the area and they save your progress. Here are the whispering eggs. You could get something called the larval core, which is worth a hefty sum. But the aliens will come out of the ground and they'll try to attack you. It's worth 95,000 units, which is a lot, but it's very risky. And it's easier to pick up if you're in first person. After a while, the swarm will subside and they'll stop chasing you. You can just run away, get into your ship, and they'll stop eventually. In these abandoned buildings, you could get rare materials like I did, the advanced ion battery. So drop pods and preserving launch fuel. So I get the drop pod coordinate data, but I'm not heading there yet because I'm low on launch fuel. Right here you see the green outline. I could stop. I'm still at that percentage. I get up. Took no launch fuel. What you could do with those is you could park right here, walk over, and then input your navigation data, and it'll actually summon your vehicle for free without using any launch fuel. It's very convenient, and also if you're far away from your ship just exploring on foot, it's very nice. So this is a manufacturing facility. You have to have a weapon like a bowcaster or a blaze javelin to crack those bad boys open, but you could get blueprints for crafting. Crafting is how you'll make money and things like that. Alien structures. Here you see an alien structure. Has a lot of little monoliths around it where you could learn the language. It gives you a choice, and when you know the language, it helps sometimes. It'll tell you what to do. I've gotten that one before, and I get a Vy'keen effigy. What you could do with those is you could give them to Vy'keen sometimes, and it'll raise your standing. So as you can see right here, I'm at 0 again. I just park somewhere that won't take fuel. I don't have to worry about it. Here's the drop pod coordinates that I was at earlier. There's a little save point near them. What you're able to do with these is if you repair all the sections, you get a free exosuit upgrade. It's very nice, but it's very costly, especially at the beginning, so you're better off buying them. The last thing I'd like to touch on is to absolutely progress through the story. The base building, tutorials, and the quest line that comes up. You learn a lot of important things that'll make your quest easier as you go through space and explore, and it'll make your life easier in the long run. I highly recommend it. At any rate, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck out there. I'll see you next time.